Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Atika Shazwani and I'm going to start the presentation with the introduction. As in numerous other nations, the pandemic caused by COVID-19 has had a substantial effect on the economy of Malaysia. When it came to dealing with the public health issue and putting measures into place to stop the spread of the virus itself, Malaysia, like other countries, has confronted with a number of obstacles. In the year 2020, there was a discernible slowdown in business and commercial activity across the nation's economy. During the early stage of the epidemic, stringent security measures caused a number of unintended consequences, including the shutdown of enterprises, a drop in consumer spending, and a breakdown in supply networks. The hospitality, retail, and tourism industries took a disproportionate amount of damage. In addition to the immediate effects of the pandemic, Malaysia was challenged with external economic challenges, such as a decrease in global demand and disruptions in the international trade. These challenges came on top of the country's internal economic challenges. The government has been actively promoting domestic investment digitalization and the development of high-value industries in order to strengthen the economic resilience of the country and increase economic diversification. The efforts undertaken by the government of Malaysia to give relief and speed up recovery were an essential component in mitigating the adverse effects that the COVID-19 pandemic had on the Malaysian economy.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Hanis. For the issue, based on the statistic above, it stated that the statistics have a range of confirmed COVID-19 cases from 0 up to 30,000 cases recorded in Malaysia. It started to rise roughly on September 23rd, 2020 with 82 cases. The ups and downs repeatedly happen and usually reach more than 5,000 cases by month. Besides, it has increased worries among the citizen whether the cases can be solved or not. This due to unpredictable number of cases happening daily. Even if when complete SOP followed during pandemic. As we can see, the highest data is recorded on March 3rd, 2022 with 32,467 cases and 86 deaths confirmed, and followed with the second highest data recorded on August 26, 2021 with 24,599 COVID-19 cases and 393 deaths confirmed. The rise of COVID-19 cases started to increase and not showing sign or hope to have a complete zero cases in eradicating the COVID-19 spread next. Furthermore, the citizen concerns on COVID-19 issues start to be seen on a wide scale as the number of deaths have risen, followed with the number of cases of COVID-19. The citizens have been shocked and traumatized by deaths that happened because of COVID-19 with no cure found at that moment. That's all for me. Next, I pass to the next presenter.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurhana binti Muhammad Alias, and I will be explaining about the implication towards the issue of the ongoing COVID-19 in Malaysia. The first implication toward the issue is unemployment. Unemployment can be defined as a situation where individuals who couldn't find any job opportunities and are willing to work for any kind of jobs to gain income or even side incomes. Unemployment can also be viewed as a serious problem in terms of economics, but the bigger impact is on that individual's quality of life. The government should focus on changing the rules where everyone can have the right to go through job interviews and have some hope to gain a job. For example, as we know that most jobs require experience, such as if you are applying to work as a human resource assistant, then you need the experience first to be working as a human resource assistant. Referring to the example, the government should change the policy of job requirements. Based on many researchers, it is stated that most countries are struggling to solve unemployment issues, especially in Malaysia. In Malaysia, unemployment has become a serious issue that requires the government to take further steps in solving it before it becomes worse. Malaysia has experienced an inexplicably high rate in terms of unemployment compared to other countries, which became the top priority of the government in Malaysia. The recent pandemic that hit most of the countries, including Malaysia, namely COVID-19, has had a huge negative impact on the economy, especially in terms of unemployment. The COVID-19 also has affected the labor market, where it has jeopardized since about 64.5% of jobs in Malaysia cannot be implemented from home, or known as work from home (WFH), due to the issues on internet connection, and not to mention about 50.0% of the jobs in Malaysia require physical communicating, such as important meetings, deadlines, meeting important clients and others. Besides that, most industries are affected by the pandemic COVID-19. For instance, based on the issue about the AirAsia layoffs through the article of New Straits Times, it stated that in early June 2020, AirAsia reduced more than 250 staff due to the COVID-19 pandemic. During an interview with the Bulletin Utama TV3, the executive officer Tan Sri Tony Fernandez said that given the realities of the aviation sector's difficulty in rebounding any further, the decision to terminate staff of AirAsia was unavoidable. From this issue, unemployment issues are indeed a concerning and serious topic to be discussed, especially on how to reduce it. The biggest effect on the unemployment issue is how it widened the income gap between the lower income group and higher income group. As the saying goes, the rich become richer and the poor become poorer.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Fatin Ainur. So for the next implication for the issue is Malaysian SME digitalization troubles. COVID-19 has shifted towards SMEs to continue facing some of their problems. Because the COVID-19 pandemic has had a huge negative impact on the whole world, it has spread worldwide. Due to this epidemic, many firms in Malaysia are affected, especially small and medium-sized organizations, which is SMEs. This is very important because it includes 98.5% of Malaysian businesses. The MCO has ordered non-essential businesses to close and prohibit mass movement nationwide. Even so, during the MCO, 84% of SMEs face problems and challenges with digital usage, such as web access and communication with customers and suppliers. And working from home connectivity harms some SMEs because they need to learn how to use it. Even before COVID-19, SMEs were less aware of digitalization because they did not think it was useful, especially when the MCO was implemented. It affects their businesses and the national economy because they need to be more efficient in using digital system.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurul Fadhi Wahida binti Abdul Karim. I want to present about the third issue, which are education disruption. There have been substantial educational setbacks as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, including school and university closures. The transition to online learning has brought many difficulties and had an effect on students' learning outcomes and educational quality, especially for those who lack access to dependable internet connections and sufficient technological tools. Some students do not have access to the desktop or laptop computers or reliable internet connections needed for online learning. Due to access differences, some students are unable to fully engage in online learning, creating a digital gap. This problem primarily affects students from low-income households or those who attend school in remote locations. Low-income students frequently encounter difficulties getting access to the essential technologies for online learning. For many families, the expense of acquiring computers, laptops, or dependable internet connections may be prohibitive. In Malaysia, about 90% of households lack internet connectivity, according to the 2020 study by the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commissions. For students who rely on online learning during school or university closures, this digital gap has produced difficulties. The transition to online learning has had an influence on the standard of instruction and students' learning outcomes. In-person training may offer greater levels of engagement, contact, and individualized care than virtual learning environments. Some students could struggle to adjust to online learning environments, which could result in gaps in their knowledge and skill development. Research by the United Nations Children's Fund (UNICEF) and the Malaysian Ministry of Education concluded that students would suffer considerable learning losses if schools were to close in 2020. The study calculated that if schools were closed for 6 months, children could forget up to 70% of what they had learned. Educators and institutions are always examining cutting-edge tactics and best practice to address these issues and improve the quality of online education.
The first recommendation for the implication of unemployment is increasing subsidies in many sectors. Subsidies can be defined as a non-financial assistance that is provided by the government to support the industries, agencies, individuals, activities, and others. The reason why subsidies were established is because it is aimed to promote various outcomes in terms of economic growth, social welfare, and infrastructure development. The first subsidy program in Malaysia is called the Wage Subsidy Program, or known as PSU, where it is a financial assistance that will be paid towards the employers and then distributed for each employee every month. The reason why the layoffs happened is because the employers couldn't afford to pay the employees' wages anymore, which led to unemployment and losing employees. This program is aimed to support the employer's business operation that has been affected during COVID-19 by providing subsidies in order for them to keep their employees. This program was implemented in the year of 2020, where the pandemic COVID-19 is becoming a hit in every country, including Malaysia. Referring to the article from Bernama, according to the Ministry of Finance of that year, Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Abdul Aziz, he stated that the implementation of this program has saved 2.4 million jobs and stabilized the economic growth. The second subsidy program was named as the Prihatin Rakyat Economic Stimulus Package, or known as Prihatin, which was established to reduce the unemployment rate that was rising up, especially during pandemic COVID-19. This program was implemented on 27 March 2020 with the aim to mitigate the economic impact of the pandemic and provide possible assistance to those who were affected, such as businesses, industries, individuals, and others. For this subsidy program, which are protecting rakyat, which are assistance to the vulnerable groups through non-governmental organizations. Next is supporting businesses will increase the cash flow of employers, and by doing that, it will help employers to keep as many staff as they can to avoid possible layoffs. Lastly, strengthen the economy by expediting infrastructure and implementing small projects under the first stimulus package. I think that's all from me. Thank you. I will pass on to the next presenter.
The best recommendation to solve Malaysian SME digitalization troubles is the SME Digitalization Grant, a program the Malaysian government runs to encourage and help SMEs go digital. Because of the COVID-19 epidemic, smaller medium-sized enterprise, which is SMEs, have adopted digitalization and cashless
payment options. According to the Malaysian Digital Economic Cooperation, MDEC, the COVID-19 pandemic has shown that digitalization is essential for small and medium-sized firms to continue providing good customer experiences and has pushed the pace of digital adoptions. Organizations are now experiencing several obstacles and uncertainties because of COVID-19. In this modern era, it is pertinent and most appropriate for SMEs to recalibrate and reset their businesses models to embrace digitalization as one of their primary tactics. Digitalization has proven useful for SMEs because it can prevent a complete business shutdown during the COVID-19 crisis. Many SMEs that showed were willing and able to modify their business model survive, while many others were unable to do so. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Next, I want to present about the recommendation to solve education disruption, which are bridging the digital divide. Every effort should be made to give every student fair access to technology and internet connectivity. This may entail giving away computers or tablets to students who are in need, setting up internet accessible community centers, or looking into joint ventures with telecommunications providers to offer discounted or free internet service. The construction of digital infrastructure such as increasing broadband internet access and enhancing connection in underserved areas can be given priority by governments and educational institutions. This involves making the required infrastructure investment to guarantee that all students have access to dependable, affordable internet. Governments also can establish community centers, libraries, or other public spaces equipped with computers and internet access. These centers can serve as safe and accessible space for students to access online educational resources and participate in remote learning activities. In addition, the government can collaborate with telecommunications companies to provide subsidized or free internet connectivity for students from disadvantaged backgrounds. Explore options such as providing free data plans, zero-rating education websites, or offering discount internet package for households with school-going children. Furthermore, it is important to make an effort to give students access to gadgets like laptops, tablets, or cell phones. This may entail providing gadgets to students who don't have access to the equipment needed for online education, especially those from underprivileged backgrounds. For instance, Program Peranti Digital Nasional (PDN), the Malaysian government launched the PDN plan in collaboration with telecommunications companies and industry stakeholders. This improves their digital literacy and guarantees they can use the technology for learning in an efficient manner. Now, I'm going to conclude the presentation with a conclusion. In conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia has had a lot of effects which have caused a lot of problems and issues. The rate of unemployment has gone up, which hurts people's mental health and general quality of life. Small and medium-sized businesses, SMEs, have had trouble in adapting to the rise of digitalization. This was even more important during lockdowns when offline economic activities were seriously hampered. Due to school closings, education has been disrupted, resulting in a digital gap that makes it harder for students to access online learning and hurts their academic performance. I think that's all from us. Thank you.